independent in thought, and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
So I asked the head of the Border Patrol, do you need a wall? And he said, absolutely. So the president stood firm. He has more money for a wall than he's ever had because he's willing to declare an emergency, and there is one. But he also said, if you don't change our laws, the wall won't work. Right now, if you step 1 foot into the United States and claim asylum, you're entitled to a hearing. We have no place to put you, and we release you in the country. If you come here with children, you can only be held 20 days. We release you because we have no place to put you. That's why we're being overrun by people from the Triangle countries, because we can't deport you back to those countries.
Yeah, and just to let you know, that whole 20 days things, that's nothing now. Now they're not even, it got to the point where it was 72 hours to be able to hold somebody. Now they're so stretched, so pressured, they're just releasing him. Releasing them. There you go. Nothing we can do. Not a lot we can do. So there you go. So out they go. Catch and release is being expanded. The pressures on local services in El Paso, in Phoenix, in Albuquerque, and elsewhere is just tremendous. This is ugly, and it's not getting any better. And I don't know if he's going to close down the border. I don't know. Because it sounds like I feel like he's more than just flirting with it, right? It's more than just a bat of an eye and, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It feels like and this is something that people say, well, he's not going to really declare emergency, is he? He's not really going to declare emergency. Well, he did declare emergency. Well, he's going to stop the Mueller probe, isn't he? He's going to totally do it. He didn't. He'll do things that people think he isn't going to do because that's who he is.
We have right now 2 big caravans coming up from Guatemala. Massive caravans walking right through Mexico. So Mexico's tough. They can stop them, but they chose not to. Now they're going to stop them. And if they don't stop them, we're closing the border. They'll close it. And we'll keep it closed for a long time. I'm not playing games. Mexico has to stop it.
Yeah, Mexico has to stop it. Mexico does. Because in theory, that's what has to happen. Mexico, we're not going to go into Mexico to stop it. That's on them. But it is becoming a real issue. It has become an issue. And I keep asking my Dem friends, what do you want to do? Because I hear a lot of, you're cruel, you're evil, you're bad, you're a xenophobe. These people are coming here for asylum. We can't give everybody whose country is corrupt, awful, and poor asylum. That is not one of the things. You're not being persecuted. Your country's failure economically, even though we've given $700 million to these 3 countries, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras, in the last 3 years, we've given them $700 million. He's threatening to take that away. What else do we do? What else do we do? And I keep asking my Dem friends, what is your solution? What is your solution here? Because ignoring it essentially is open borders. Ignoring it essentially is saying, yeah, let them all come here. What is your solution? Because your ineptitude, inactivity, and ignorance is going to cause us to have real issues here. And some of these states and cities and communities, which are already struggling, are going to be overrun to the point where you're going to create a humanitarian crisis. You better figure something out now.
Look, Democrats are leaving us absolutely no choice at this point. We've already had to move roughly 750 personnel from ports of entry at this point, and it looks like we're going to have to move more, which will force those lines to go longer to cross the border, and eventually it may be that it's the best decision that we close the border.
It might be. It might be if it gets to that point, because the way that, and it's so funny. And I was reading something today about YouTube and their failure to take away all the craziness on there, and that the more that there was craziness on their channels for a lot of the stuff, whether it's the anti-vaxxers or this, that, there, the more that there was those things, the louder people had to be to get attention. I'm starting to feel that way in politics, right? That you have to be so loud, that you have to do something so crazy as to get anybody's attention to say, oh, he was serious about that. So he was serious he would shut down the border. He was serious he would do an emergency. He was serious that he wanted to do some of these things. Because politics is so sly, and it's all backroom dealings, and it's all niceties and a few angry things here and there when you're running against somebody, or when you're talking about issues. You may get angry about the issues, but you say some stuff, but by and large, nothing seems to get done. It seems to be that you almost have to get to the point where it's so drastic and you have to do something drastic to get anybody to pay attention. And that's crazy. That's crazy. But that's what we've got now. And this inactivity, this general malaise of like, well, we got to figure this out, but it's not a wall. It's more of a virtual wall with a few more judges. That'll probably do it. No, it needs to be a full overhaul, and it can't be 2 years from now, because these communities, they can't handle it anymore. And quite frankly, most of us are sick and tired of watching failure after failure after failure by every administration when it comes to dealing with the immigration issue.
Even Obama's own Secretary at Department of Homeland Security from the Obama administration, Jay Johnson, has said that this is a crisis. People are starting to understand exactly what the president has said was going to happen all along. And it's unfortunate because this could have been something that we fixed if Democrats had been willing to work with us. Hopefully they see the impact that it's having on our border and on our Border Patrol agents, and they'll be willing to step up and do their jobs and help the president.
Yeah, well, I doubt that. I do. I do. I really doubt that they care. And and the sad thing is, and this is one of those things when you look at politics, when you deal with something and you want to take something directly on. I don't care if you're Obama, I don't care if you're Bush, I don't care if you're Clinton or Trump. When you really want to do something and you want to get something done that is a necessary thing to get done, and you decide you're going to take this on, what comes with it are political consequences, even though it's the right thing to do for the country and for the people on both sides of the border issue and the border itself. Politically, they just don't want to act. They just don't. Speaking of politics.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 24 ayes, 17 noes.
The ayes have it. The resolution is amended, is agreed to.
Yeah, that right there, Jerry Nadler. I was telling the guys earlier. So Nadler, who much like Swalwell and much like Schiff, it's just they wanted this thing. So they're going to subpoena now. They want to see it in its entirety. And, he's out talking about it, and Trump and everybody's out talking about what you talked about 98 with the Starr report and the whole 9 yards. And it's very interesting to listen to the battle over this thing. And they were talking about it again yesterday because they can't wait. They don't want a redacted version. They don't care if they embarrass anybody. They don't care if grand jury wise there's things in there that they're not allowed to see. Damn it, they want to see it. They want to see it now. They waited this long and they don't want to wait another second.
The president just once again personally attacked you for demanding the full Mueller report. He's also calling you a hypocrite because you previously objected to the full release of Ken Starr's report on former President Clinton back in 1998. Listen to the president. Listen to this clip.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Starr.
So when he talks about the president, talking about him, it's very interesting, because the president, he's the president. He likes to say stuff. He does stuff that's fun and entertaining, and he comes after people. You and I both know that that's what he does. And Nadler, it's just, he is, what do you say about a guy? Like, I've never seen three people so dedicated to just the downfall of another person in every way, shape, or form. And they're willing to change any of the narrative to fit any of the things that needs to be changed to get the guy that they think they're going to get. Right? That they're willing to do anything. It's so and even in their own words, they're willing to do anything. They are. They're even in their own words. This is him back in 98 talking about the Starr report and all of that stuff that was going on with Clinton and to release it, not to release it.
Now, Mr. Starr, in his transmittal letter to the Speaker and the Minority Leader, made it clear that much of this material is Federal Rule 6E material, that is material that by law, unless contravened by vote of the House, must be kept secret.
Must be kept secret. Must be kept secret. Absolutely must be kept secret. Right? Those aren't like some magical rules that somebody on the other side made up because they didn't want it to get out. Those are just things that actually had to happen. You had to keep it secret. Right? You had to keep it secret. Those are rules. And he also went on to say, well, we don't want any of the salacious stuff to come out. There's no need for that. But he changes as he goes, depending on what fits his narrative.
The president, as you can see, is a bully. The Mueller investigation looked into very serious allegations and very serious matters that we have a responsibility as the oversight body to look into, and we are asking that the entire Mueller report and all the underlying documentations be given to Congress so we can examine it and fulfill our responsibility of protecting the rule of law and looking into questions of obstruction of justice and personal enrichment and abuses of power.
So personal enrichment and abuses of power is now where it's at. It's no longer, that's not what this was about originally. It's not what the Mueller report was about. It was about Russia. But what he's saying is, we're going to come after him no matter what. He did go on to say, hey, look, we in Congress, we already had the Starr report. We did. When they were figuring out what to do with as far as to release the public the whole nine, we already had the Starr report. We don't have the Mueller report now. We had it before it was all redacted. But we didn't want it to get out. It's the hypocrisy and then changing the narrative. Here's the narrative. Just be honest. I don't like this guy. I want to get rid of him. That's our whole goal. I don't care what it costs us. I want to get rid of him. There you go. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. Let me tell you, I love my cat. I do. I love my cat. My cat 3 is awesome. Pretty cupcake. She's really pretty, but you don't want to touch her. But cat 3, he's this massive cat that is just sweet, nice, and I want to make sure I take care of them. But the reality is they're cats and they make a mess and they can stink the place up when they go to the bathroom. That's why I got Pretty Litter. I was talking to my salesperson the other day we were talking about this, and she's like, does it really work? And I said, you have no idea how it is. So you forget you even have cats. It's amazing. It's Kitty Litter 2.0, shipped to my door, tiny itty bitty bag, lasts an entire month. Awesome. Incredible. If you have cats and you worry, it stinks, it's gross, I don't even know where to put the litter boxes in there, you get this, it changes everything. It really does. You won't smell it. It's just easy. You grab a little bag and away you go. It lasts you a month. And on top of that, it also monitors your cat's health. It'll change colors. Pretty Litter will change colors, detecting underlying issues when it comes to whether or not they may have medical problems. That way you can get to it early, save you stress, save you time, save you money, may save your cat's life. Do what I did. Make the switch to Pretty Litter right now. Visit prettylitter.com. Use promo code Chad. You're going to get 20% off your first order. That's prettylitter.com, promo code Chad. Prettylitter.com, promo code Chad. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, ChadBenson, Chad Benson Show.
Plea deal this.
Mueller, arrest me.
Chad will trade you 2 perjury charges for 1 collusion and throw in a reduced charge of obstruction for free.
Yeah, I'd do that.
For just listening to The Chad Benson Show.
Out of the way.
Far from Hollywood, but still in the spotlight, Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman appeared here in federal court for the formal reading of the conspiracy charge they and the other 30 parents face. Loughlin, in a camel pantsuit and gray shirt, shook hands with prosecutors before she told the judge she understood the charge. She and her husband allegedly paid $500,000 to get their daughters designated as recruits on the University of Southern California crew team.
Oh, my God. Are they going to go? Are they going to go? Are they going to go to jail? Are they going to cut deals? What do you think they're going to do, kids? What do you think they're going to do? Nobody's going to jail. Their biggest issue is the taxes, because they knew they were playing games, and they knew that the quote-unquote charity was a sham, and they still took a tax deduction. So that's going to be their biggest issue. Outside of that, waste of money and time, right? Fine them. The amount of money that they spend to get their kids in jail, many of which didn't want to go, jail, it's a school, right? And for some of these kids, they thought it was jail. They wanted to be out being YouTube stars and stuff like that. And take that money, have them designated to other kids in underserved areas, and say, all right, kids, I'm going to take 10 of you, and we're going to get you into college, and I'm going to pay for your college. Over here, you spent $6.5 million. How many kids is that going to help? There you go. Problem solved. So whatever you spent $5,000, you put $5,000 into it. You spent $6.5 million. You put $6.5 million in it. And your community service is helping these kids get through college, and along the way, offering them mentorship and support. And there we go. Don't need anything other than that. Ridiculous. So ridiculous. Now, as far as the IRS stuff goes, you're on your own there. That's not a good thing. That's the issue that you're going to have that's going to be the biggest problem. You knew they were fake. You knew it was fake. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So guess what, kids? They want to see Mr. Trump's taxes. Yep. House committee is asking for taxes on Mr. Trump. They want his personal tax returns. They're going to do everything they can in their power. Everything. So you got Richard O'Neill, chairman of the House Ways and Means Commission, by the way, maybe the most powerful of all. And he's going to do everything they can to get it. They're going to do everything they can. You name it, they're going to try it. They need to see those. They have to see those. It's got to happen for them. What if there's nothing in there? Then what? When do they start making stuff up? Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
But I'm a creep. It's our new Joe Biden sounder. Today he comes out, goes on the gram. That's where all the kids are. Instagram, the Facebook, wherever the kids are. He wants to make sure that everybody hears his message. Because he's got a message for all of those people out there who, quite frankly, he's just, he's sorry. And he's going to tell you some of the reasons he does what he's done.
I've never thought of politics as cold and antiseptic. I've always thought it about connecting with people. As I said, shaking hands, hands on the shoulder, a hug, encouragement.
Sniffing hair. Is that Pert? What are you wearing there? Is that mango? Oh, my God. I love mango. He told, apparently, big donors, because he's a big game hunter, right? So Bernie Sanders is out raising money. He's squirrel hunting. He's squirrel hunting. He's out. What are you doing? I'm out squirrel hunting. Give myself some squirrel. That's what I'm going to do. Joe is a big game hunter. Joe's going to have like 4 donors, and they're all going to give him like $300 million. That's Joe. Right? Now, a lot of people vote for Joe, but that's where the money's coming. But Bernie's out doing Bernie stuff, and that Bernie's like, here's a quarter, thanks quarter, here's a quarter, here's a penny, here's a penny, here's a quarter. That's what he's doing. Different. Squirrel hunter. So he's told them he's still go. He's still a go. But so he does this weird video today, and he talks about, yes, the situation here. And again, he's just trying to explain himself and all of this stuff.
I've always tried to make a human connection. That's my responsibility, I think. I shake hands, I hug people, I grab men and women by the shoulders and say, you can do this. And whether they're women, men, young, old, it's the way I've always been. It's the way I've tried to show I care about them and I'm listening.
I will be honest. The hair sniffing, it's creepy, right? We joke, probably people make way too much of it. That's all he is. He's a handsy dude, right? He didn't mean anything by it. Like I said, I talked to a couple people who've known him forever, who are currently sitting Congress people who've known Joe for a very long time and say he's the guy that comes up next to you. He'll put his arm around you, give you a headlock, he'll slap you on the back. He's always been that way, and he does it for everybody, men and women. But this is how it's taken. It's not how it's meant. Now, the hair sniffing, it's a little bit weird, but you're also looking at a situation where he's old, he's 8-track tape, and they're on to digital downloads. 8-track tape, digital downloads. That's the world that we're living in now. The progressives are the digital people. He's 8-track, CD, Blu-ray disc, that kind of stuff. They want to move on from that. And if the Republicans, and by the way, when you watch the Republicans and you watch even the Republican news media, by and large, they're defending Joe, and they just think it's funny that the left is kind of coming after him. And I do as well. And some of the people, though, in the media who've known him for a long time, and you listen to this here, these are people who've known him for a very, very, very long time.
Joe Biden is extremely affectionate.
He's very affectionate.
Expressions of affection. He is an affectionate, old-school politician.
Uncle Joe, as we affectionately call him,
He's a very affectionate person.
he's just an affectionate guy.
Very, very affectionate.
He's touchy-feely in an affectionate way.
Very affectionate person.
He suffers from being overtly affectionate.
That's part of who he is.
I think
Very affectionate person.
this is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Mika Brzezinski says it's ridiculous. Now, throughout the day, he talks, of course, about, women and, how he's been a champion.
I've worked my whole life to empower women. I've worked my whole life to prevent abuse. I've written, and so the idea that I can adjust to the fact that personal space is important, more important than it's ever been, is just not thinkable. I will.
Yeah. And he continued to utter that,
I get it. I hear what they're saying. I understand it. And I'll be much more mindful. That's my responsibility.
Yeah, there you go. It's your responsibility. Mindful of people's personal space. Mindful. It's just so stupid. It is. They don't want him. He's not part of what they want. He's not woke enough, right? He's more of a guy that wakes for a little bit and takes a nap in the afternoon, and then he woke up again, and then he eats early and he goes to bed. He's not woke enough. And right now, if you look at Democratic politics, there is a huge, real big division between the Steny Hoyers and the Nancy Pelosi's and several of these other established old lions, if you will, and this younger group that is getting so much. Trump joked about the fact that, hey, the Democrats are scared of AOC. There are a bunch of them that she is making them extremely uncomfortable because they're not as left as that, but they feel like that social media mob will come for them. And right now, he's yesterday's news. And he needs to be more mindful of people's space, right? You stay there, I'll stay here. And if there's something that's really secretive that we need to talk about, text me. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us, Ethiopian Air. More and more is coming out about Boeing's crash and Ethiopian Air's crash and whose fault was it as they break down the entire situation.
After they took off, gear up, flaps come up, the damage sensor puts bad input into the MCAS system, and it begins to push the nose forward. The pilots are startled, they're close to the ground, they're nervous, they go through the procedure and they flip off the drives that are pushing the stabilizer down. For some reason, they can't pull back hard enough. They don't think that it's fixing the problem. They're getting closer to the dirt. They re-engage, and that's the end of the flight.
Yeah, yeah. And the re-engaging is, they're trying to figure out exactly what took place there. It's just, it's a horrible, horrible situation. And when you're going at that speed, you're doing the things that you're doing, the way that it's doing they talk about it is just, it seemed to catch them completely off guard. And we've talked about the fact that I still think that it outsmarted them. It sounds horrible to say. It's just like it was just a little bit too advanced for their pay grade. And the things now, and when you buy an airplane, so if you're Ethiopian Air, right? So when you buy an airplane, you get the tube, you get the engines, and the bare necessities to fly, right? It's like when you watch a television commercial for a car, always look to see what the MSRP is for the car that is so amazing. Because the car that you want that starts at $22,000 doesn't have all that stuff on it. It's the same thing with an airplane. It's kind of one of those things where you walk in and you say, I got to build my own? I can have it my way. And some countries spend more money on building it their way. And some countries, they don't get all the things they're supposed to. And that's, what they're trying to fix now and make sure that this and the software is on every single plane. But even if that would have been there, people are still asking, they heard the panic. Was it too much?
Anytime you're dealing with control problems that close to the ground, you don't re-engage things that could cause an eventual mishap. What you want to do is regain control of the airplane, get it away from the dirt, get it away from the ground so that you can troubleshoot the airplane. You don't troubleshoot it at 200 feet off the ground.
No, that is not where you do it, especially when you're going at that kind of speed. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. Love hearing from all of you. Again, this whole thought process of what we're going to do on the wall. People are texting in about that. You know what? I think he may do it. He may pull the trigger, for lack of a better term, on closing the wall. And if he does, think about this, right? Let's say he closes the wall today. Saturday night, you go out. You're going to a Mexican restaurant. You're excited. You have a little Mexican food. You and your wife or your husband, you guys are super excited. Your friends, you're all sitting around. You're like, man, I want some guacamole. I am. And you have something like, this is the greatest thing ever. Border gets shut down. Couple, 2-3 weeks from now, you guys go out again. You're like, man, that guacamole is the greatest guacamole in the history of guacamoles.
Donald Trump has shut down the border with Mexico, and America has run dry of its precious avocados. Now, renegade gangs of health-conscious millennials roam the landscape looking for green gold.
Give us the avocados for our toast, or you will die! Defend the avocados.
3 weeks, they say. No avocados. I don't like avocados, so I don't really care. I don't like guacamole. Don't like it. Don't want it. Don't care for it. Don't eat it. So if you do like it, or you need it, what is it, avocado toast? Is that what the kids eat? That's just awful. Ugh, why would you ruin toast like that? I do think he's going to do it. I think it's going to get so bad that to get anybody's attention, he's going to go shut the borders. And I don't think it's going to be a day or two, because I don't think you can't do it like that. I think the only way to get some people's attentions is to do this. And he's had the likes of Doug Ducey today, Arizona governor's out there at the White House, and he's going to support the president if he does it. Would rather him not do it, but he's going to support the president when you're starting to get the likes of that. And are you going to get other governors who are dealing with the same issues? Are you going to get them behind you? Because that's vitally important. And I think if you can do that, and especially some mayors and some big mayors, you got a chance to do something like this. I think what you're saying to them is, we're going to do this, and we could be in this for a little bit of a long haul until we can change something around here. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. So that's a text number. People say, Chad, why don't you slow down and give that number out so we can call you? And I said, it's a text number. So here's the text number, 323-538-CHAD. 323-538-CHAD. That's the text line. People say, what's the call number? And I said, you know what? I forget. What is it, Phil? Is it 844-DIG-CHAD?
844-DIG-CHAD, 844-344-2423.
There you go. That one will actually reach Phil. We haven't taken... When's the last time we took a phone call?
It's been a while.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah, it's been a while. We don't even know if the phones work. Maybe somebody wants to call and see if our phones work. Please do. 844-344-2423. That is a call-in line. You call the phone. I don't know what you do, but you call it. Hey, full night's rest. I'm going to get one tonight on my Giza sheets. My Pillow, it's incredible. Giza cotton. Amazing cotton sheets. This cotton's grown in a small area near the Mediterranean Sea. Absolutely incredible. It really is. You slide into it. It's like nothing you've ever slid into before. You will absolutely love it. It is so amazing. It's like you feel like you're sleeping on $1 million. And here's the other thing. Too often you get on a bed and what happens when you roll over, it pops out. You wash it once, and next thing you know, you got to put them on. And it's like, well, they fit before, now they don't fit. You're not going to have that problem. Super deep pockets, very breathable material. You're going to love it. Get your Giza sheets right now. 100% machine washable and dryable, made in the USA. And yes, kids, you will feel the difference with these sheets. Giza cotton sheets, 800-983-4975. Go to mypillow.com. When you do, use promo code Benson. That's mypillow.com. Promo code is Benson, 800-983-4975. Promo code Benson. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Deep states? No. Deep doo-doo? Yeah. The Chad Benson Show.
This all happened Sunday night when two next-door neighbors were at one of the men's homes sitting on the back deck drinking. They then decided to put on a bulletproof vest and took turns shooting each other. Now, the Benton County deputies say 50-year-old Charles Ferris tried the vest on first and told 36-year-old Christopher Hicks to shoot him. Hicks shot Ferris in the chest one time with a .22 caliber semi-automatic rifle. The vest stopped the bullet. Ferris then took the vest off, and Hicks tried it on.
Now, what I like about this story, it took place in Arkansas, and I'll tell you guys this right now, and I want you to be completely understanding. Every good story starts with them drinking and then putting on the bulletproof vest. It ain't over.
Now, according to the police report, Ferris was mad about getting shot and how much it hurt, so he then shot Hicks several times in his back. The vest stopped all the bullets, but Hicks had severe bruising. Ferris went to Mercy Hospital, which notified police.
Yep. Went to the hospital. Now, when we're in the hospital, you guys got to understand something at this point in time.
I'm just speaking for them, like if they were here, because I want to give them a voice, because I don't think it's fair. They're only hearing one side of the story. Back to them.
So what happened was we got shot. Right, but there's a reason for that, right? You think we're just out drinking and shooting each other, right, doing stuff like that.
Ferris initially told deputies a story about being paid $200 to protect an asset.
Yeah, that's what we had to do. We had to protect an asset. You guys don't understand something. You can all laugh at us if you want to. You think it's funny. You can laugh at us all day long. But we was protecting an asset in our trailer park. We were. Well, we said we were to the police, but then our wife said no, we was just drunk and shooting each other.
Has anything ever started out with they were drinking, and then they put on bulletproof vest. Where do you think that goes? Where? I couldn't tell you. We were all talking about this. I talked about this producer Anthony, producer Phil. At no time ever. I have a lot of friends who have partied hard in their lifetimes. Like partied hard. Never once did they say, I got a great idea. This is gonna go swimmingly. Oh, my Lord.
Man, I just can't believe it. They didn't think we was guarding anybody. I mean, we said we were guarding an asset, and the guy had a white linen suit on, and that he was just, the asset paid us $200.
But there was only one bulletproof vest. It wasn't well thought out. None of the plan was. None of it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. It's hard to believe that was the governor of Arkansas. I'm kidding. Lieutenant Governor. Tweet at us. Check us out on the Instagram. That's what the kids call it, the gram, at Chad Benson Show. And we got the old Facebook. That's where the old people are, apparently. The Chad Benson Show. It is. That there, Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
We're having a crisis at the border. I think the president's right about that. Closing down the border would have potentially catastrophic economic impact on our country, and I would hope we would not be doing that sort of thing.
Mitch McConnell. Boy, he's exciting. But we may get to that point. We may get to that point because you're in D.C., in the ivory towers, right? You're in a lot of places where you see the smatterings of illegal immigration. But you're in Phoenix, El Paso, San Antonio, Albuquerque, Las Cruces. I'd say California, but they're all, hey, everybody come on in. So, But even San Diego and stuff like that, you feel it, the pressure on the services, the pressure of the people in those communities to hold it together. They're at the breaking point. They're at the breaking point, and it's only getting worse. It's not getting better. It's only getting worse.
In my opinion, right now, this is one of, if not the biggest crisis this country has faced in a decade. Truly. I mean,
Right.
The security aspects of this, the humanitarian aspects of this have got to be addressed. This is at the very top of our list at DHS. We've announced today that we're now treating this like a massive Cat 5 hurricane disaster.
Yeah, that's what they're treating it like. They're treating it like it's literally a natural disaster. And if we know anything about government and natural disaster, this will also end up being a disaster. But something needs to take place. Something does. You may not like Trump. Take away the person that you don't like. Say, I don't like Trump. He's a horrible human being, blah, 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 blah. Replace it in your mind with somebody that you can at least stand. And then say, all of this stuff is going on. Your border agents, the people and the powers that be that are running and trying to protect our borders are saying it's crumbling, it's falling apart. They're overrun and they're inundated and they're falling further and further behind. Don't you think that that person who you can maybe kind of stand in your mind, you would want them to do something? Yeah, I probably would. But I don't like Trump. Well, this is who you got, right? This is who you got. So now we've got to figure out how we put this thing together. And it's getting much worse. And the way that we're handling things at the border, because of how short-handed we are, how underfunded, overwhelmed they are, It's getting much worse.
So I asked the head of the Border Patrol, do you need a wall? And he said, absolutely. So the president stood firm. He has more money for a wall than he's ever had because he's willing to declare an emergency, and there is one. But he also said, if you don't change our laws, the wall won't work. Right now, if you step 1 foot into the United States and claim asylum, you're entitled to a hearing. We have no place to put you, and we release you in the country. If you come here with children, you can only be held 20 days. We release you because we have no place to put you. That's why we're being overrun by people from the Triangle countries, because we can't deport you back to those countries.
Yeah, and the way that works in the Triangle countries, meaning the three countries, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, the way it works is if an unaccompanied minor comes here, they can't send the minor home. If it's somebody from Mexico or Canada, they can send them home immediately. So they're passing kids around. They're using kids. It's awful. And the days now have changed. It used to be they were holding it for 20 days. Now, then a couple weeks ago, they were down to like a week, and then it was down to 3 days. Now they're turning them out immediately because there's nowhere to put them. And they're dropping them off. And San Antonio's overrun. Here in Phoenix, 22,000 plus since December 21st. Something needs to be done. And the Democrats can scream and they can yell and they can shout. They can call you a xenophobe and they can call you a racist and they call you all of those things. Whatever it is that you want to call anybody. But you can't deny that there's not an issue going on right here, right now.
Even Obama's own Secretary at Department of Homeland Security from the Obama administration, Jay Johnson, has said that this is a crisis. People are starting to understand exactly what the president has said was going to happen all along. And it's unfortunate because this could have been something that we fixed if Democrats had been willing to work with us. Hopefully they see the impact that it's having on our border and on our Border Patrol agents, and they'll be willing to step up and do their jobs and help the president.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect that to happen. I really wouldn't expect that to happen. But you can say whatever you want. Trump didn't create this. It has been created by 30 years of nobody watching the gates. 30 years of turning a blind eye. 30 years of just allowing this to happen. And that trickle over time picked up, became a nice little flow, became a heavier flow, became a lake. And next thing you know, it's becoming a tsunami, and there's a serious issue. And at the local levels in particular, the pressures that are felt there from the services, from the communities, it's overwhelming. It is. And inactivity and, quite frankly, politics isn't going to solve this in the coming weeks or months, because the politics are what keeps it continually going alive rather than being solved. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love to hear from you. The soundbite of the day comes from John Kennedy, Rep. John Kennedy. He makes me laugh. I could hear it all. First of all, I can hear him talk all day. They were talking about health care because now they're punting it to 2020. This will make you laugh before we get to John.
Obamacare has been such a catastrophe. I want to put it after the election because we don't have the House. When the plan comes out, which we'll be showing you at the appropriate time, it's much better than Obamacare.
President Trump confirmed that he will hold Americans hostage through the 2020 election when it comes to health care. He promises, re-elect me, and maybe you can take a peek at my backup plan after that, which they don't have. What a ruse. What a shame. What a disgrace.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you are the ones who have held people hostage because you gave us Obamacare, which drove everybody else. Look, prices were already rising, but you blatantly lied about it, knowing full well the numbers were rigged and they were never going to come due and good the way that you said they were going to do. I think it's about 6-7% of people are actually on Obamacare. They moved people from Medicare to the exchanges. It didn't do any of the things it was supposed to do. But you are dead You're dead set against getting rid of it, even saying let's throw some of it out and keep some of the good stuff. And you don't even have to say you made a mistake, but let's fix the problem. Let's fix the problem. But it's about protecting legacy, and God forbid they ever say they made a mistake unless it's an individual and not a group mistake. And then the Republicans who've come out like, hey, we're going to take this on. And next thing you know, like, we're really not going to take this on. And then Mitch was like, nah, he should deliver us. If Trump really wants something so bad, he can deliver us something. And I'm like, that's not his job. That's your job. See, he signs it. You deliver it. He sells it. You deliver it. But John Kennedy, always good for a soundbite.
Some of my colleagues need to go online, check Amazon, see if they're selling spines at a special discount this week, and grow some guts, and let's tackle one of the problems that moms and dads in America worry about at night when they lie down and can't sleep. And I think the president's absolutely right. It may be lousy politics, but it's good for the American people.
Yep. Maybe lousy politics, but it's good for the American people. You can almost guarantee if it's bad politics that has to get done on their side, it's going to be good for the American people. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Speaking of 2020 or after 2020, we may see the secret plan. Somebody who may run in 2020. He's apologizing.
I get it. I hear what they're saying. I understand it. And I'll be much more mindful. That's my responsibility.
Yeah. He's going to be much more mindful. That right there, Joe Biden. He's just trying to connect with people. It's always the way he's been. It's touchy-feely kind of character.
I'll always believe governing, quite frankly, life for that matter, is about connecting with people. That won't change, but I will be more mindful and respectful of people's personal space. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. They just don't want him around. They don't want him around. Before you get rid of him, before you think, oh, this guy's awful, we're going to get rid of him, stop and think. Stop and think. Because, I don't think he's going anywhere. And I want to see how this plays itself out. But I look over and I see you don't have anybody at this moment in time, in this current climate that we're finding ourselves in particular the economy and the fact that it's still kind of moving forward. That can change in the next 6 months or year or 8. All of that stuff can change. But understand, if any of the people that are running right now are on stage, the chances of them winning, if everything stays the way it is, are slim to none. And I see Slim leaving. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. That there is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Roman has made everything easy. You're probably saying, easy for what, Chad? Guys, we don't want to talk about it. Erectile dysfunction. We don't want to talk about anything. You get hurt. You think, I can walk it off and easy stuff. But this is one of those things where it's an ego thing. It's a personal thing. You want to go into the doctor's office and have this uncomfortable conversation. And then you got to go to the pharmacy. So Roman came along and said, we got a great way. They've created the absolute easiest way to get checked for ED. It's simple. It's easy. You can check yourself out, and you do everything online. You go to GetRoman.com/Benson. You complete an onboarding, a medical onboarding. It's simple. It's easy. The next thing you know, after you figure this out, you talk to a doctor, get diagnosed, a U.S. physician, and guess what? Send pills to your house unmarked. Little box. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's that simple. It is. So you avoid all of the uncomfortableness of it, and you can do everything from the comfort of your own home. It's that simple. Roman has created something that is truly easy and amazing, and right now they're offering you a free online visit. Go to GetRoman.com/Benson. That's GetRoman.com/Benson. GetRoman.com/Benson. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter, ChadBenson. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, where we reach across the aisle and occasionally poke someone in the eye.
My upper torso is no more offensive than a man's. Laura Miranda says she has absolutely no idea how a student got a hold of this picture. She said she had texted it to a boyfriend within the South Country Central School District when they were together. That was quite some time ago. She's saying that the school district violated her rights as a woman.
What is wrong with my image? It's my breast, it's my chest, it's my body. It's something that should be celebrated.
Yeah, so she's suing. She's suing because they canned her. And it's another one of those stories where this is where the responsibility comes, but also there's responsibility all around, right? Because you have an intimate relationship with somebody, husband, wife, whatever, the responsibility is also to the person you're sending something to. There's a responsibility there on that side that they're not going to do something. And I think, in the coming years, because that's what a younger generation's done, this will be nothing. This will be absolutely nothing. But she's been, canned, and it's, you sit back and you say, God, this is, how did the kids didn't see this, right? So the kids didn't see this. It wasn't sent to a kid. Because when you first see it, you're like, oh, my God, right? She sent it to a kid. You're like, well, wait a minute. She didn't send it to a kid. She sent it to another grown adult that she was in a relationship with. What is up with that?
What message is that saying to the girls who have their photos airdropped all over the high school and sent all over? What message are we sending to them? To roll over when your picture gets exposed without your permission or consent? So how am I now not being a role model?
Miranda wants her job back, or she's planning to sue the school district for $3 million for gender discrimination, saying her rights as a woman have been violated.
Anytime a man has ever exposed his chest, no one has ever commented or had any problem with it whatsoever.
There you go, right? So anytime a man has done that, nobody's ever commented. He's right? He's right. I mean, I guess if you took your shirt off at school, you could potentially be yelled at and probably get some sort of suspension if you're a guy. But no, I mean, they're right. Look, I'm not complaining. Phil and I talked about we were not complaining about it. Producer Anthony didn't complain about it. I mean, it's nobody's complained about it here.
We spoke with parents of some of the middle school students about what they think.
I understand why she would be fired, but it's probably more complicated than just a black and white situation.
Whether her intentions were for a student to get it or they weren't, a student did, and you have to be responsible for your actions.
But did the student get it, or was the student given it to it by another teacher or somebody who worked there? Because they did, or did they steal her phone? Because there's also a reaction there. Somebody did something. What if somebody came in your house, you had naked pictures in your house of yourself, and somebody stole something and they gave it to a student? Would you be fired for that? Should you be fired for that? How dare you do something like that? It's ridiculous. And and you know what? We're very uptight about sex in this country. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. That's it. And then also, if she's going to get fired, and she didn't send it to a student, remember, she didn't, then whoever sent it to the student, if there was a student, because I'm hearing conflicting stories, there wasn't a student, it was on somebody, it was on a server somewhere. How did that person get a hold of it? Was it given to them by somebody? There's a lot here. But the bigger thing is yes, there's a responsibility, absolutely. But there's also a responsibility to be mature about something like this. Two grown people not hurting anybody else, engaged in a consensual relationship, shouldn't be judged like this. I'm sorry. It's a bunch of crap. It is. It's absolutely a bunch of crap. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. We might talk more about this thing tomorrow. There's a family who's got a lot of subscribers on their YouTube channel, 8.7 million. And apparently they played a joke on Monday on their daughter, their 6-year-old daughter, Evalie, and Savannah, that they were giving away the dog, the family dog. They had to get rid of it. And then they were going to let the 6-year-old pick the family that got it. And then everybody's pissed. Everybody's angry because the girl's just shattered. She is. And there was a total April Fool's joke. And yeah, for a 6-year-old, it's probably a little like, oh my God, but man, just to watch the reaction. Again, more often than not, it's not what was actually done. It's the reaction of the people on the interwebs and how they go after each other. That is half the amusement. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Twitter. Trump. He's a cheater when it comes to golf. Hilarious. But I got another take on it. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Obamacare has been such a catastrophe. I want to put it after the election because we don't have the House. When the plan comes out, which we'll be showing you at the appropriate time, it's much better than Obamacare.
President Trump confirmed that he will hold Americans hostage through the 2020 election when it comes to health care. He promises, re-elect me, and maybe you can take a peek at my backup plan after that, which they don't have. What a ruse. What a shame. What a disgrace.
You know what's funny, though? When you listen to Schumer there, he says, well, he's going to hold you hostage until he fixes health care. That's almost what he says. It's like, you guys broke health care. What are you doing? Right? What are you doing? I'm curious. Right? You how many people have you really insured that you say, oh, we put these people on Obamacare, where you essentially moved them from Medicare to Obamacare? You didn't really, it wasn't like you all of a sudden, we went from overnight, oh, my Chad, we had an extra 30 million. No, you threw some people off your, your regular health insurance, and they had to go to exchanges. That doesn't add somebody. Some people that were on Medicare went to the exchanges. They're on Obamacare. It's costing us a ton. It's not working. It's failing. There's some good things there. I'm not saying there's not good things. And I know I'm going to get people saying, you're a horrible person. Why dare you say that? It's helped me. I'm not saying there's not some good things. There's absolutely some good things. But there's a lot of things. It's just not working. Right? And this is politics right here. So you don't say it didn't work. You just throw more money at it and protect it. No. You say it's not working the way we thought it was going to, so we're going to actually do something right. We're going to try to fix it. We're going to keep the things that work, and the things that don't work, we're going to get rid of. Is this thing on? Does anybody... Are we... I don't get it. I don't get... I just never been that way. Right? Like, if something's not working, I want to figure out how to make it work. The problem is something's not working, right? Like, if you've got a door handle that's broken, you and I, the average person, we're going to go out, we're going to fix the door handle, right? We're going to fix it, we're going to open the door, and we're going to walk through it. Politics, they argue over the door handle. They say they want to fix the door handle. They pretend they're trying to fix the door handle. Then they turn around and they ask the other 48,000 people behind them who are throwing money at them, how should we fix the door handle? Well, if you fix the door handle, I'm not going to give any money. Well, if you don't fix the door handle, I'm not going to give you any money. So what they do is they argue amongst themselves, and nobody opens the door and walks right through it. It's time. Maybe we just kick the door down and push ourselves through. We need changes.
But he did decide to back off of this plan to present an alternative to Obamacare after he got a phone call from Mitch McConnell.
We'll not be doing comprehensive in the Senate.
Was that we don't really want to be doing that. When we had all three branches of government, we tried and failed. I think the big problem for the Republicans is that Trump decided to weigh in on this lawsuit from Republican attorneys to states attorney generals saying Obamacare in its entirety should be declared unconstitutional, including the popular parts like pre-existing conditions, staying on your parents' plan until you're 26.
Well, the staying on your parents' plan, I just, I don't know. I have an issue with that one. But I think if you're in school, if you're in college, I don't have a problem with that. But if you're out and you're just kind of hanging out in your house and you're playing Call of Duty, your mom and dad are hoping you get a real job, get out. Get your own life going. You're an adult. It's more of the adulting we were just talking about. More of the adulting. But it is frustrating because, and I blame this on Trump, and I blame this, Mitch McConnell came out yesterday, and he comes on out, right, and he says, if Trump's got something, he can bring it to us and we'll look at it. That's not Trump's job. It's your job to bring him something. It's your job. And for 8 years, Republicans, first of all, you love, let's back it up a bit. You love Obamacare for the first 8 years because of Obamacare, you kick the Democrats' ass over and over and over and over again. 1,000 seats across the country changed because it was unpopular and it was frustrating. And it was seen by a lot of people as an overreach. So it was a helper to you. But you ran on it until you couldn't run on it because the people that put you there were going, now's the chance. Now you got to do it. Now you got to do it. Here's the time. You said you were going to do it. You talked a big game. And you're like, can't get it done. And you didn't. And Trump put pressure on him the minute this whole Mueller thing thinks, we're going to go after healthcare again. And they're like, we're really not going to go after healthcare. Well, then don't go after healthcare. Say you're going to do it in 2020. But I can guarantee you, 2020 comes here, you're not doing a damn thing. Your hope is you're going to get enough people to jump on board the GOP bandwagon that you could get it done. But you're going to have nothing there. And Democrats, I look at you and say that you've got a dead horse right now with this. But you're not going to do anything because your whole goal isn't whether it works, it's defending it. And for us, it sucks. And how many people really have it? Less than 10% of the people that have it? It means the people that do have insurance, 90%, the other 90+%, they're not on Obamacare. But it's the battle over it. And because of Obamacare, it's messed up a lot of other things. That's the frustration. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. So Rick Riley is sports reporter. Good one. Interesting. And he's got a book coming out. And it is really funny talking about the president and his golf habits. And there's more to it than just that. But some of it is just, some of the stuff he cheats at is hilarious. And it's from people who play with him. It's from his caddies. It's from people who are his friends and people who know him. He just wants to win. He does. And he's a cheater. He does. He cheats.
These people will tell you, have I won many club championships?
We clearly saw him hook a ball into a lake. He just took off running, and next thing you know, I got it, Mr. Trump.
He actually did cheat Tiger Woods.
These hands hit a golf ball 285 yards. Look at these hands.
I actually said I was the best golfer of all the rich people. I know how to win. I've won. These people will tell you, have I won many club championships?
I'm like, you liar, because you told me how you did it when I played with you.
That's his original ball. I'm Arnold Palmer.
I'm standing on it.
He did. He cheats. He cheats. And some of the nicknames he gets are hilarious.
What this book reveals about him, you're going to want to take a shower afterwards because the amount of cheating is incredible that he does. And he does it in front of people. He trains his caddies to cheat for him. He kicks his ball out of the rough so many times he has a nickname Pele. Now,
for those of you who don't know who Pele is arguably the greatest soccer player of all time. And that's how much he kicks the ball. And he cheats. He cheats big time, and he's cheated everybody. And some of the stories that are being told about Trump is hilarious. Some of them are absolutely hilarious, including Mike Tirico. If you don't know who he is, he was on ESPN for an extremely long time, just extremely well. Just one of the most gifted sports reporters and announcers around, and respected like you couldn't believe. Funny guy. He does, now he's doing Sunday Night Football, but he has a great story about him and Tirico.
So Tirico and two other announcers are playing with Trump at Trump Philly, and Tirico is against him in a team game, right? and he hits the shot of his life onto the green, a blind par 5. But when he gets there, it's not near the green. It's not on the green. It's not near the pin. It's in the bunker. Well, it turns out Trump kicked it into the bunker so that he could, I mean, can you give the guy his shot of his life? And how important is it for you to win? You're worth billions. Like, at what point is it like, doesn't matter to him? But it does.
He wins at everything. I used to be that way as a kid. I wanted to win at everything. Now, I didn't cheat, but if I knew other people were cheating, I just wouldn't play. I think Trump, and a lot of people like Trump, winning is vitally important. They'll beat you at everything. Doesn't matter what it is, right? They're not going to let their kids win. They're going to win at every single thing they possibly can. And if you beat them, for some of them, that's a respect thing. But I also think Trump grew up in a world, and a lot of people do, and I've got a couple friends who are from the East Coast, who winning is vitally important, and the shucking and the jiving and the cheating and the bending the rules and the twisting it and it's insane. I used to play golf with a couple guys, two brothers, who were they make up rules as you'd go. It would be so bizarre, and they'd always want to. And the funny thing is, they were great guys, and they would pay for you to golf, but they wanted to bet you. And they wanted to turn it into a competition. And these guys, they if it was a coin flip, they want to win. It doesn't matter. And they were always looking for an edge. And I think they always thought, and it's the same way I look at somebody like Trump, is Trump always feels everybody else is looking for an edge. And if you're not looking for an edge, you're weak. You should be looking for an edge too. And he thinks that you are looking for that edge. And so you're looking for it, I'm looking for it. And you probably kick the ball, so I'm going to kick the ball. And you're probably lying about something, so I'll probably lie about it too. It's the old adage, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's a famous baseball quote. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. And I think for a lot of it's very interesting. I do believe in my heart that Trump is a guy that thinks everybody's kind of doing the same thing he is, so he's not really doing anything different. And that's a world that he was probably brought up with, and in many ways, it probably is very true. I mean, my God, he's in New York. He's a developer. Do you think he's the only developer that has issues, problems, lies, cheats, deals with the mob? Just curious. No. He's the kind of guy that, boom, man, he beats you at tiddlywinks. He doesn't care what it is. He's going to do everything he can. Do everything he can. But every one of you listening goes, oh, man, I used to have a friend like that. And you'd hate playing with them, but at the same time, they're usually a great guy. But you hate it. They're ultra competitive and all of those things. I was that way. When I was a kid playing soccer, I'll tell you guys a story. A horrible story. My mom hears it. To this day, she tells the story and she looks at me like she wants to punch me. We didn't have a soccer game one weekend because the rains came in Southern California. It's not like in Europe. When the rains come, you play soccer. Snow comes, you play soccer. There's a sprinkle. We're never playing. So my mom's like, well, you need to go out and play. And I was like 8 or 9 years old. And we were playing, and I remember my shoe was untied. And my mom's like, I'm going to score. And she's dribbling the ball down the field. And, I came in from behind, and I just destroyed my mom. Slide tackle, took her out the whole 9 yards. I had to walk home. She was so pissed. I wasn't going to lose. I wasn't. And I was like, oh, my God. Now I look back at those things. I was like, oh, did I cheat? No, it was just the competitiveness. But I tell you what, I did have friends who did play games that was just, it drove me crazy. And I just wouldn't play with them anymore. It's not that I wanted to cheat too, but I just wouldn't play with them. But I feel there's something there with Trump across the board. It's a psychological thing that he doesn't think he's doing really anything wrong, because he thinks everybody else is also doing it. It's not right or wrong in his world. It's just what it is. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. Love hearing from you. You guys have friends like that. My mom still talks about that. Man, she fell in the mud, too. Oh, God. She was so pissed. We talked about this about 2 months ago. She still looks at me. She goes, I can't believe you did that to me. Because I remember her walking into the house. First of all, I beat her home. And her walking in the house, my dad's like, why are you home? And my mom walks in and she's covered in mud. And my dad's like, oh, God. She didn't score. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. And it was a professional foul. That's what we call it in soccer. It's a professional foul. A little bit of cheating, but it's professional. That's what professionals do. But when you're 8 and you're playing with your mom, probably not the good thing to do. Well, she shouldn't have ran away. I was tying my shoe. Didn't know we were playing. Hey, Blink Home Security. I wish we had a Blink camera to film that. That'd have been awesome. It's incredible. We've all had issues, people around the house, skulking around the house, weird people in the neighborhood and stuff. Wouldn't it be nice to know you've got something to protect you? That's where Blink comes in, right? Indoor, outdoor cameras, motion activated. You can see who's out there. You can protect your packages to get delivered to your porches. It's really a great thing. Simple and easy to use. Set up wirelessly, couple AA batteries to last up to 2 years. Plus, they've got a live feed option that's absolutely amazing. You can check what's going on outside your house and inside your house, even when you're not there. If you have packages delivered, you call your neighbor, say, hey, can you pick those up? Something really important to me. That way you can get them later. Porch Pirates have no chance of snagging those things. It's really amazing. There's no contracts, no subscriptions, totally affordable, and Blink works with Alexa. Get your Blink camera systems today. Simple, quick, and easy to install. Brilliant way to monitor everything in your house, including those package delivery. Visit blinkprotect.com/Benson, blinkprotect.com/Benson, blinkprotect.com/Benson. Blink is an Amazon company. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Running with scissors sounds great compared to this.
Say what?
Executing several search warrants, the LAPD SWAT team descending on the home of hip-hop producer Molly Mall. The officers there as part of human and animal trafficking investigations. California Department of Fish and Wildlife Warden Michelle Budish says an African cat called a serval and a spider monkey were seized at the home and at another location.
They're wild animals, so they shouldn't be pets because they belong in the wild.
The exotic animals require permits. Mall was seen being detained by the LAPD.
Yeah, he had a serval. People are like, they're crazy. I'm looking right here, the website I go to. I can get you a serval. What do you want? Here's Kobu. He's $2,900, right? You can get him in Oklahoma. And these are all people who are breeders, who have USDA license. Not hard to get animals. I can get you just about anything. You want a Kodiak brown bear? I can get you one. You have to have a state license. Got to show it. Some of these animals, camels, lots of them. It's not hard. The problem is one guy like this gives other people a bad name because a lot of these people, you get idiots who go out and get animals that they should never get. And I'm a person who's got a ton of animals and I have exotic pets and lizards and all kinds of stuff. And it's crazy because I know people who have stuff that that are idiots. They shouldn't have stuff, right? And hell, I know a lot of people shouldn't have kids. I think we all know that. But it is, this was weird because people are focusing on the animals, but they weren't there originally for the animals. They were there because they're looking at human trafficking. You're like, oh, say what? Yeah. They're like, I don't know if he was trafficked or not. What I do know is there's a serval in here. It's not a big cat, but they're not very friendly, even when they're bottle raised. Just letting you know that.
Now, we're under audit, despite what people said, and we're working that out. As I'm always under audit, it seems, but I've been under audit for many years because the numbers are big, and I guess when you have a name, you're audited. But until such time as I'm not under audit, I would not be inclined to do that.
So yeah, he wants the House and Ways Committee is going after his taxes now. They're coming hard for his taxes, so they're coming. They're going to do everything they possibly can because they know somewhere there's something that they can get that will get him. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show, Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. independent in thought, and punk rock in life. It's The Chad Benson Show.
In my opinion, right now, this is one of, if not the biggest crisis this country has faced in a decade. Truly. I mean,
Right.
The security aspects of this, the humanitarian aspects of this have got to be addressed. This is at the very top of our list at DHS. We've announced today that we're now treating this like a massive Cat 5 hurricane disaster.
Well, if you're real about that, Kirstjen Nielsen, you're just going to move them all to Houston? Is that what you guys are going to do? Leave them all in New Orleans inside trailers? It is, in fairness, joking aside, immigration-wise, she's right. She's right. This is a disaster, and it's becoming a humanitarian disaster. On top of the frustrated ineptitude of politics, frustration from us, the taxpayers, the citizens, in their inactivity to do anything, the humanitarian side is... This is ugly, and it's getting uglier. And they don't seem to do anything about it. They argue over it, but they don't want to do anything about it.
All is on the table, including to close down the border. Right. We have to stop this flow into our communities. We have to stop the drugs. We have to stop the smuggling and trafficking and gangs. He's very serious about it. So, yes, I think everything is on the table. In the meantime, but I cannot be clear, and I don't think the president can be any clearer. He will take every action within his authority to stop this flow.
He'll try something. That's how he gets. That's what I'm starting to realize is you do. The one thing I think Trump really changed is he learned on the campaign trail, big, bold, loud, brash, gets people's attention. Coming out, policy wonk, soft speaking, nobody's interested in that. You got to be bold, you got to be loud, you got to be strong and confident, and you've got to be at times even over the top to get anybody to notice. And if that means doing some things that even shock the people in the political world to get their attention, I guess that's what you do. And is this what politics is going to look like? But we do have a problem here. Is it an emergency? You know what it's becoming? It's becoming an emergency. You've allowed something to go from an issue that needs to be addressed to a crisis, which is where we're currently at, and we're going to get ready to get to that category of true emergency if they continue to be as inept as they are. They don't see it as ineptitude. They see it as politics, right? But ask the people in El Paso, in Phoenix, in Albuquerque, in the Southwest, who are dealing with God knows how many people that are coming here. Think about this. In Phoenix, 22,000 people have just been dropped off here since December 21st. 22,000 people. These are people that have nowhere to go. They just drop them off. The pressures on the services here, they're stretched so thin anyways, then you think about all of that stuff that's going on now. That effect on the local side of it is huge. San Antonio, even more so. And this doesn't even count the people that have gotten here without being caught. Still inactivity, still nothing. I don't know. Is he going to close it down? Is he going to close it down? I think the possibility is there. I do. I think the possibility of closing it down is absolutely there. And I think he is that kind of guy that would say, yeah, I'm going to do this. Because nobody's listening to me. Nobody's doing anything. The Dems don't want to do any of this stuff with us. They don't want to get anything done. And it's their way or the highway. They don't like my way, so they're going to do their way. And their way is we'll just continue to let the same thing happen over and over again. So you know what? The power that I have, the authority I have, challenge it in court. We'll see what happens when it gets to the Supreme Court. I feel I can win it. So I'm just going to do this if you're not going to be involved.
Look, Democrats are leaving us absolutely no choice at this point. We've already had to move roughly 750 personnel from ports of entry at this point, and it looks like we're going to have to move more, which will force those lines to go longer to cross the border, and eventually it may be that it's the best decision that we close the border.
I don't know. You can't do it for a day or two. You've got to make it big and strong, and there's going to be people that are going to be hurt fiscally. And what about your taste buds?
Donald Trump has shut down the border with Mexico, and America has run dry of its precious avocados. Now, renegade gangs of health-conscious millennials roam the landscape looking for green gold.
Give us the avocados for our toast, or you will die! Defend the avocados.
Was it like 3 days and that's it? That's it. 3 days. 3 days. Avocados gone. We'll have a massive shortage. And then going to Mexican restaurants, you're not going to get guacamole. Luckily for me, I hate avocados. So I don't really worry about that. I don't. But some people may worry about it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us. Love hearing from you. Here is maybe the soundbite of the day.
They just can't get something massive through both chambers.
And I think that what you're ultimately going to see is pressure from House Republicans who are going to, I think, cave on any pre-existing conditions proposal that's put forward by Democrats ultimately. There is no spine on this issue within the Republican conference. The problem is you're caught between a party among Republicans who aren't sure what they think about health care anymore. Obamacare has now effectively become a conservative position compared to what the Democrats who are running for president are proposing with Medicare for all.
No spine. I agree 100%. No spine. John Kennedy, do you have anything to say about that?
Some of my colleagues need to go online, check Amazon, see if they're selling spines at a special discount this week, and grow some guts, and let's tackle one of the problems that moms and dads in America worry about at night when they lie down and can't sleep. And I think the president's absolutely right. It may be lousy politics, but it's good for the American people.
Yeah. But as you're learning more and more, it's tribalism, and it's appealing to your base. It's rabble-rousing them. It's raising money off of them. It's doing just enough to feed them, to keep them coming back to you. But it's never actually getting to the point where we're somewhat solutions-based, and we need to be. We all know what we want when it comes to ask the average person what they want. They want competition, choice. They want an a la carte system when it comes to health care, where they can kind of pick and choose the things that they need. They'd like to have more transparency and pay cash for the things that they know they can pay cash for. And they want to see more competitiveness when it comes to pharmacy prices. It's not that hard. It isn't. They make it that way because the politics is where their bread is buttered. The politics is where the trough is filled, not the solutions. No spines. Maybe they can go to the spine store, right? Maybe they go there. Hey, what you got going over here? We got spine stuff going on. All right, let's get ourselves spine. The fact that they're pushing it back to 2020 frustrates. Frustration. I'm so blessed to be able to do the show. I talk to so many people across the country, and there isn't a day that doesn't go by that somebody doesn't say to me, hey, I spend more money on my health care than I do my mortgage, more money on my health care than they talk about, and I get it. Man, I'm the exact same way. More money on health care than I do on my mortgage. That is insane. And Obamacare, the way that it worked its way out and the way that it's got its way in and then it's worked its way out to the people, what it's done is it's made everybody pay more so a few more could get quote-unquote insurance. And it never addressed any of the real problems that needed to be addressed because it was written to be a law more than it was health care. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. He's creepy. He's your uncle. He's Joe.
Joe Biden is extremely affectionate.
He's very affectionate.
Expressions of affection. He is an affectionate, old-school politician.
Uncle Joe, as we affectionately call him, he's a very affectionate person. He's just an affectionate guy.
Very, very affectionate.
He's touchy-feely in an affectionate way.
Very affectionate person.
He suffers from being overtly affectionate.
That's part of who he is. I think very affectionate person.
This is ridiculous.
Did you guys know he was very affectionate? I don't know if you heard that. I think it's a wee bit fetishy. It's an odd thing. And it is. It's it's a weird thing. And he's having to answer for it more and more and more and more. And more people are coming across. And they probably, there's going to be a ton of people that come out who, at the time, it was no big deal. I mean, some people felt uncomfortable. You've heard from Lucy Flores and a few others who've come out and say, yeah. But there were other people who they didn't think anything of it. And now they're like, well, yeah, I guess that's really what it was. But it's a weird thing. It's in your space. And I'm telling you, it's a space thing. You don't understand space. But I spoke to a senator the other day that's known him forever and said, Joe is that way. Joe's the kind of guy that'll come over and puts his arm around you and he talks to you. He's jovial. He's definitely he doesn't understand the space. And I'm a personal space guy. I'm just like, give me my space. If I can have a bubble, I would. Don't touch me. Personal space guy. But I still, he's got a lot to answer for. But to me, I think the progressive uber left want Joe gone, and they're not going to fight very hard for him. And you're going to see a lot of the people that have come up with Joe who will protect him, who say he's not who everybody says he is. But there's a lot of people out there who are on the progressive left who look at Joe and they're like, you're yesterday's news, right? You're disco. We're living today in hip hop and R&B, and we don't want you around, right? We don't want you around. You were yesterday. We are today. And the other people will sit there and defend you and talk about how great that music was. But you're yesterday. This is where we're going. We don't want you around. We're not going to protect you. We are going to Me Too you. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Roman made everything easy when it comes to treating something that, for a lot of guys, 70% of guys don't go to the doctors and get treated. ED, erectile dysfunction. It's not hard, guys, with Roman. It's simple and easy. Go to GetRoman.com/Benson. There's a medical onboarding. It's quick. It's easy. And then when you fill that out, you're able to talk to an actual U.S. physician. You get diagnosed right there. You get meds in unmarked packages shipped to you. They don't have to worry about the waiting room and the uncomfortableness, because it is uncomfortable, right? You get down on yourself in the whole 9 yards. And with the way that the world is going medically wise, why not take advantage of being able to deal with something that's affecting you? Simple and easy from the comfort of your home. That's what Roman has done. They've come up with something that's so amazing. Now's your chance. Here's a free online visit. It's on me. Go to GetRoman.com/Benson. That's GetRoman.com/Benson. It's a free online visit. It doesn't take that long. Get yourself treated. Get your medicines delivered straight to you for ED, and nobody else know. You have to go to the pharmacy or anything. Come straight to your house. GetRoman.com/Benson. GetRoman.com/Benson. Oh, my Lord. I'm going to talk about it next. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Chad Benson Show.
Serving up talk radio medium rare and dripping with irony. It's Chad Benson.
I'll tell you guys this. Arkansas has some folks in it that do some strange things. That is for darn sure.
This all happened Sunday night when two next-door neighbors were at one of the men's homes sitting on the back deck drinking. They then decided to put on a bulletproof vest and took turns shooting each other. Now, the Benton County deputies say 50-year-old Charles Ferris tried the vest on first and told 36-year-old Christopher Hicks to shoot him. Hicks shot Ferris in the chest one time with a .22 caliber semi-automatic rifle. The vest stopped the bullet. Ferris then took the vest off, and Hicks tried it on.
So wait a minute. He shot him and then tried it on after the other guy got shouted?
Now, according to the police report, Ferris was mad about getting shot and how much it hurt, so he then shot Hicks several times in his back. The vest stopped all the bullets, but Hicks had severe bruising. Ferris went to Mercy Hospital, which notified police.
Kids, you're probably thinking to yourself, there's no way this story gets better. But remember, they shot each other, right? They shot each other. Hanging out, drinking, shooting each other. Oh, the story does get better because you're going to need a story to get away from the story, if that makes sense. And they got that part. I'll tell you that.
Ferris initially told deputies a story about being paid $200 to protect an asset.
$200 to protect the asset. They came up with a James Bond story. So one guy got shot, got mad because they thought it would be funny to put on bulletproof vest. Then the guy was mad because it hurt, right? Because you know it's going to hurt because you're getting shot. And he shot the other guy 7 times in the back. That's how mad he was. Then the police came because they're firing off shots and they're screaming and yelling. And one of the guys got to go to the hospital. And what ends up happening is they go, well, we better come up with a plan. The plan is simple. We were protecting an asset. They gave us $200 to protect the asset. Who's the asset? We can't tell you the asset was. I will just tell you this. He's the most dangerous man in the trailer park. Yeah. We had to protect him. And gave us $200. $100 a piece. Well, there's only, both of you got shot, but there's only one vest. Well, we were quick to exchange vests because I knew he was down. So I'm like, you better give me the vest because that guy with the white linen suit's going to come back and shoot our asset. And I put the vest on and I got shot. Then they talked to the wife, and the wife's like, those idiots were shooting guns off because they were drunk and they were having fun. They can't be seen with one another right now. And the neighbors are a little worried because apparently they shoot off hundreds of rounds a day, and it's not the first time they've done some silly stuff, and they're worried. Arkansas. Who's your daddy? That should be on their flag. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Sometimes you hear stories like that and you're thinking, maybe the Electoral College is old. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent in thoughts and punk rock in life. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 24 ayes, 17 noes.
The ayes have it. The resolution is amended, is agreed to.
Subpoena! Let me see your subpoena. Oh, me too. Yeah, so Nadler and them are excited. They're going to subpoena, and they want to see every single thing, even the stuff that they're not supposed to see. They want to see it all. They deserve to see it all. The Mueller report. Must see it. You don't even understand who this guy is. You don't even understand what this guy is all about. You don't understand any of those things. He's a bad, evil, horrible person. Now, Nadler has a history of these kind of things. You know, special counselors, reports. He did something with the Starr report. What did he do? Well, we'll talk about that. First and foremost, Mr. Wolf Blitzer.
The president just once again personally attacked you for demanding the full Mueller report. He's also calling you a hypocrite because you previously objected to the full release of Ken Starr's report on former President Clinton back in 1998. Listen to the president. Listen to this clip.
All right, so there he is. He's got Nadler right there, and this is the president.
Jerry Nadler thought the concept of giving the Starr report was absolutely something you could never do. But when it comes to the Mueller report, which is different on our side, that would be something that he should get. It's hypocrisy and it's a disgrace.
Now, Is that true about that? Well, he was on with Charlie Rose. This is before everybody knew Charlie liked to expose his rose, if you will. 1998, talking about the Starr report. Remember, impeachment, Starr report. Then it came on to the impeachment. Should we see it? Shouldn't we see it? Can we see everything?
Now, Mr. Starr, in his transmittal letter to the Speaker and the Minority Leader, made it clear that much of this material is Federal Rule 6E material, that is material that by law, unless contravened by vote of the House, must be kept secret. It's grand jury material. It represents statements which may or may not be true by various witnesses, salacious material, all kinds of material.
So that's what he said, 1998. Right? So, hey, by law, can't see some things. Nadler today talking about the president and what he had to say.
The president, as you can see, is a bully. The Mueller investigation looked into very serious allegations and very serious matters that we have a responsibility as the oversight body to look into. And we are asking that the entire Mueller report and all the underlying documentations be given to Congress so we can examine it and fulfill our responsibility of protecting the rule of law and looking into questions of obstruction of justice and personal enrichment and abuses of power.
All right. So, first of all, if you want to go into the personal enrichments, again, politicians should be the worst people to look at towards each other when it comes to personal enrichment. And I may even say, even though I'm not a fan of the way that a lot of the things that Trump has done, I think in many ways he's destroyed his brand. If there's anything, there's not the enrichment that you think there is. And if somebody's like, oh, yeah, these people were renting hotels, were they paying market rate for it? Yeah, well, was the hotel built after he became president? Well, no. Okay, then you're stretching there. I mean, there's a great piece in about 12 different places today about Biden and his son Hunter and a natural gas deal and a prosecutor in the Ukraine that basically Obama and Biden himself pressured that prosecutor to be gone by dangling $1 billion of money they weren't going to get. Lo and behold, that prosecutor was looking into corruption into the natural gas company, of which Biden's son sat on the board. That guy was gone. Everything went away. So, we could play games all day. But the Mueller report was about, last time I checked, Russia. You at one time didn't want something to come out because of the salaciousness. You can't wait, especially if there's no Russia here. If there is salaciousness that can hurt him, you want it to come out. Now, this is where he points out the difference between the Mueller report and the Starr report.
The president apparently forgets that Ken Starr's report, all 400 and some odd pages of it, had already been given to the entire Congress, which is what we're asking now. And Congress already had it. The question was, should that report with all the salacious personal sexual material in it be given to the public after Congress already had it?
So that's his defending it. But you want the whole report, and you are fine with that. You also acknowledge, though, in 98, that there are certain things that can't come out by law that you guys can't see because it's under grand jury. You understand that, but you still want it anyways. It's a game. They want to win. Trump wants to win. It's a game. They're going to do everything they can in their powers to embarrass him, to come after him, and he's going to do everything in his power to continue to do the things he's doing, and this is the way that it's going to go as we move forward. And all the while that's happening, we're still having an issue at our border.
So I asked the head of the Border Patrol, do you need a wall? And he said, absolutely. So the president stood firm. He has more money for a wall than he's ever had because he's willing to declare an emergency, and there is one. But he also said, if you don't change our laws, the wall won't work. Right now, if you step 1 foot into the United States and claim asylum, you're entitled to a hearing. We have no place to put you, and we release you in the country. If you come here with children, you can only be held 20 days. We release you because we have no place to put you. That's why we're being overrun by people from the Triangle countries, because we can't deport you back to those countries.
No, we can't. And the children are, that's a big thing right there, the children. And those numbers she's giving, it's not even that way anymore. They can't even hold you for 72 hours. They're just letting you go almost immediately. They're dropping you off in San Antonio, El Paso, Phoenix. They can't. And the children thing is huge when it comes to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. And I'll tell you what. If a kid comes here, again, from Mexico, unaccompanied, or Canada, we can immediately ship that child home. We can't do that when it comes to kids coming from those three countries and any other country. We just can't do it. So that's an issue. Kids are being used as pawns, right? It's like you got 8 friends, you buy 2 tickets to get into the movie, and you just keep going and handing those tickets out over and over again and letting people get in, and that's what's going on. And it's frustrating. Nothing's getting done. The ineptitude and inactivity of our government to want to get something done because the politics. And I look at Trump and I say, I applaud the fact that you're going at it. You're going at it. You've made this something. And I think a lot of people, even people on the left who don't agree or can't stand him as a human being, and that's totally fine, also recognize there's an issue and are starting to recognize that the games that are being played, and the Democrats right now, I'm looking at you guys, you are playing this game, and it is ugly. And you've even got people who worked in the Obama administration are saying, yeah, we got a problem.
Even Obama's own Secretary at Department of Homeland Security from the Obama administration, Jay Johnson, has said that this is a crisis. People are starting to understand exactly what the president has said was going to happen all along. And it's unfortunate because this could have been something that we fixed if Democrats had been willing to work with us. Hopefully they see the impact that it's having on our border and on our Border Patrol agents, and they'll be willing to step up and do their jobs and help the president.
No, I don't think they will, because the politics of it's too great. But you can scream xenophobe and racist. You can scream all of those things. The humanitarian problem that's going on there. And here's something else. People are no longer buying it. I work with a lot of people that are very left-leaning, and they're no longer buying that amnesty should be given to everybody that comes here. They're not buying that. About 3% of people who apply for amnesty get amnesty because they are being persecuted politically. They're threatened with their life. There's certain things. You coming here because you want to just make money because your country's awful. We can't do that to everybody because there's a lot of other places. You think Honduras is bad? Woohoo! You should go to Yemen. You should. It's awful. There are issues here that need to be dealt with. Is he going to close the border? I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Would I be surprised? No, I'm not surprised at anything anymore that President Trump's willing to do. And I think at this point in time, he may be forced to. He may be forced to close that border just to get the attention. And how long does it stay closed? I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's going to hurt a lot of people on both sides of the border. But sometimes when you look at the way that this thing has gone down and how they've allowed essentially a cut on the arm to get to the point where it's becoming gangrene and we're thinking about taking the arm off, well, that's the inactivity of government to want to see something through. We'll just let it go until it snowballs. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You could tweet at us.
He cheats like a mafia accountant. Like he cheats crazy. He cheats whether you're watching or not. He cheats whether you like it or not. He tried to cheat Tiger Woods in a match. Tiger hits it like this. He hits 2 balls in the water, doesn't count either, and pretends that he almost tied Tiger Woods. So it doesn't matter who he is. He has to be the winner.
Yeah. I think it's just a mentality. I think it's just the mentality of who Trump is. That's Rick Riley. Big-time sports writer, guy who does a hell of a job on sports and a lot of other things, life and sports and pop culture melding together. He's got a new book out about Trump. But I think when you've got to look at this, and as he talks about how Trump cheats and the little things he does, and you hear that, and that's a perfect example of somebody who he wants to win, but I think he also in his mind believes everybody else is cheating because he's grown up in a world of shuckers and jivers and people that are also trying to get one step ahead, and they're not afraid to step on your head to do it. And I think there's a lot to that. Doesn't mean it's right? But I think he really believes that you're doing the same thing. Not somebody like Tiger. But the average person that he plays with. I think he really believes that you're doing the same thing he's doing. And that you're looking for the edge, whether it's business or politics or pinochle. He's looking for an edge. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. Here's something that just makes you go, huh?
He has this course in Aberdeen, Scotland, and he built this ridiculously expensive course, and he tore down the sand dunes, and then they started putting up these power windmills, and he sued the government, and he said they give you cancer.
If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. Your house just went down 75% in value, and they say the noise causes cancer.
And in fact, they don't do anything, and he lost the lawsuit, so he hates windmills, and now he's telling the world that they give you cancer.
That's hilarious. That is funny, though. And he'll say he didn't say it, too. That's the thing. He'll say, it gives you ear cancer. It's like, whatever. It's just 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Lightstream. I want to talk to you guys about credit card consolidation. If you want to start getting ahead, look at your credit cards. Look how much you're paying on your interest rates. Realize that there's a better way of doing something, and that is Lightstream. Credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream is so amazing. You can get a fixed rate as low as 6.14% APR with autopay. Loans as high as $100,000 with no fees, and you get the money as soon as the day you apply. Yeah, that is incredible. Plus, they're a division of SunTrust, one of the nation's largest financial institutions. So, complete peace of mind, real company, and a great way to start paying those things off and start putting money towards things that matter and putting money away. How do you get this? And by the way, my listeners, you guys an additional rate discount. I'll tell you how to do that. You got to go to lightstream.com/Benson. That's LIGHTSTREAM.com/Benson. You can get an additional rate discount there, subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.50% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/Benson for more information. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Warning, no snowflake zone. Uninformed opinions are in danger of melting. The Chad Benson Show.
Illegal, but ingenious. They say two 14-year-old boys, ninth graders at the school, were arrested last Thursday for hacking into the school's Wi-Fi system and shutting down the internet, making it impossible for teachers to give any tests or teach any lessons that relied on the internet. It is all the talk here.
And I couldn't access the internet. I couldn't really do any work. My teachers were annoyed. We couldn't take tests, couldn't take notes.
Damn you kids, you and your technology, and you're so much smarter than we are. So you got these two 14-year-olds who, by the sounds of it, probably have a good career in front of them, right? When you were younger, and this is just the modern way of stealing a teacher's test or hiding their keys or, whatever it is. This is the modern way. But, hey, if you're going to do it, why not just everybody's teacher, not just yours?
I saw them and I asked them about it, and they thought it was funny because they didn't want to go to school.
Police say it happened over several diverse days in March. Our Wi-Fi connection was compromised over the past week. We have determined that two students may have been involved in the disruption of our system. Police say the students hired a private company to hack in and disable the school's Wi-Fi.
It's possible that they used an app or paid somebody online to do this for them. There are services like this available online.
Chad, that's not funny. That's not funny. Kids need to learn. Yeah, but it is kind of funny. And this is the stuff where you're looking at your kid and you're like, ah. And then a little bit older in life and you're just laughing. Go, that's hilarious.
The two students arrested were charged with computer criminal activity.
I don't think it's right in any circumstance, but clearly they have some future in computer science or IT development.
Yeah. And I got to be honest with you. This goes back to that situation of, do we really need to arrest two kids who did something stupid, right? Do we really need to arrest them? Yes, because we have to prove a lesson. What's that? What are you proving? You know, this is modern education, which is let's go overboard on insanity. In our day, what did they do? You maybe get suspended for a day, you get a good talking to, you get a slap up the head, and we'd move on with our lives. Not anymore. Now it is not only punishment, right? It's not only about punishment. It's also about the lessons you learned that are going to be taught along the way that are ridiculous and that are overkill, that aren't going to do anything. The examples they think they're making, and it's just insane. Just get over it. It's funny. Tell them not to do it again. Well, you can't, Chad, because we got 45 people we need to report to, and everybody's some sort of reporter. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing you. Got you over the hump. I like it when we do that. Here's your useless fact of the day. Bela Lugosi, the man who played Dracula, the most famous of the Draculas, I would say, was Bela Lugosi. When he died, he was buried in the old cape and everything. Yeah, think about those apples. Have yourself a good rest of your day. Night, night, Jack.
This is the Chad Benson Show.